This is the second part of a Level 2 Functional Skills Maths paper from NCFE. In this part you can use a calculator. Apprentice plumber. Judy is an apprentice plumber. She needs to work out the capacity of a water tank in gallons. The water tank is a cylinder with radius 0.7 meters and height 3 meters. Judy uses this graph to convert between liters and gallons. Work out the capacity of this water tank in gallons. Give your answer to the nearest gallon. You must show you're working. Use pi equals 3.14. Use 1 cubic meter equals 1000 liters. So we need to work out the capacity of the water tank in gallons. What we're given are the dimensions of the water tank. So radius 0.7 meters and height 3 meters. So we're going to use that to work out the volume. To work out the volume of the cylinder, we use the formula that goes pi r squared times height. Now pi, we've been told we need to use 3.14, so that's what we're going to use, and then multiply by radius, which was 0.7, squared times the height, which was 3 meters. So multiplying all of these together using a calculator gives us 4.6158 cubic meters. Now we've got the volume, we need to use that to work out the capacity in liters. So 1 cubic meter is equal to 1000 liters. What about 4.6158 cubic meters? So that means we've multiplied this by 4.6158. So we'll do the same on the other side. And that gives us 4,615.8 liters. So we've got the capacity in liters now. We're going to have to work it out in gallons. So let's see how the graph will help us. So in this graph we can't really work out what 4000 liters is equal to in gallons or something along those lines. So what we're going to do is use this to find the ratio, to work out the ratio. So as you can see, we've got, for example, 10 gallons is equal to 45 liters. So let's use that. 10 gallons is 45 liters. What about 4,615.8 liters? What's that equal to in gallons? So we'll see how many times does 45 fit into 4,615.8 by using the calculator and going 4,615.8 divided by 45, and that gives us 102.573. So we'll now multiply 10 by that same number. And that would give us 1025.73 gallons. And let's go back to the question. work out the capacity of this water tanker in gallons, which we've done. Give your answer to the nearest gallon. So we need to round this to the nearest whole number. So 1025.73, we'll round that to 1026. Because this is 7 and 5 and above, would cause this to be rounded up. On a scale drawing, a water pipe is 27 centimeters long. The drawing has scale 1 to 50. Calculate the actual length of the water pipe. Give your answer in meters. So the scale is 1 to 50. The length of the water pipe on a scale drawing is 27 centimeters. So this is scale and this is reality. So 27, what is that equal to in reality? To get from 1 to 27, we multiply by 27, so we'll do the same on the other side. Which is 1350, that is centimeters. We got to give our answer in meters. So we've got to convert 1350 centimeters into meters. So the thing to remember is that in 1 meter there are 100 centimeters. So what about 1350 centimeters? How many meters will that be equal to? So we're going to have to divide 1350 by 100 to give us 13.50 or just 13.5. Judy has this plan view of a section of the water pipe system in a building. She knows that the sum of interior angles in a pentagon is 540. Calculate the value of angle X. So we know that this angle is 90 degrees because of this. So that means this is 90 degrees as well, and this is 90 degrees. So if we add 90 and 90 and 90, which is 270, and the 130, then take away the total from 540, it should give us angle X. So 270 add 130 gives us 400. Now 540 take away 400 gives us 140 degrees. Judy installs some water taps in the building. She keeps a record of the flow rate for each tap she installs. Judy installs tap J. She checks the flow rate of tap J by filling up an empty 1.6 litre jug with water in 15 seconds. Judy thinks that tap J has a greater flow rate than the median flow rate of the other 8 taps she installed. Is she correct? Show how you decide. So we need to work out the flow rate for tap J initially and then compare it with the median of the other 8 taps. So at the moment, what we know about tap J is that it was filled in 15 seconds and it was 1.6 litres the capacity. Whereas the ones we have here for the other 8 taps, the flow rate is given in litres per minute. So let's convert it to litres per minute. If 1.6 litres can be filled in 15 seconds, then in 30 seconds that will be 3.2 liters. In 60 seconds, which is a minute, we'll have to double that, so that will be 6.4 liters. So if we put J here, there will be 6.4. We're going to compare this now to the median flow rate of the other 8 taps. The median we work out by putting them in order and then finding the middle number. So let's put these in order from A to H. So the smallest out of these numbers, decimals, is 5.5, so I'll write it here. Then we have 5.8, then we have 5.9, then we have 6.0, then we have 6.1, 6.1 again, 6.3 and 6.5. Now let's find the middle number or numbers in case it's 2 of them. So I'm going to cross out one each side to get to the middle, and we have 2 of them, so that is 6.0 and 6.1. So halfway between 6.0 and 6.1 is 6.05. But you could also use the formula for that if you don't know how to work it out. So 6.0 add 6.1 divided by 2. So that gives us 6.05. Now going back to the question, it says Judy thinks that tap J has a greater flow rate than the median flow rate of the other 8 taps she installs. So is this a greater flow? We've got for J is 6.4, whereas the median is 6.05. So yes, that is correct. So I'm going to write 6.4 is greater than 6.05. Judy reads an article about apprentices. In 2019, there were 742,400 apprentices in England. Of these, 51,000 apprentices were in the construction sector. Judy thinks that in 2019, more than 6% of apprentices in England were in the construction sector. Is she correct? Show how you decide. So that's 51,000 that were in the construction sector out of the 742,400 that was in total. So using a calculator, we'll do 51,000 divided by 742,400, and that gives us 0.06869 and so on. So to convert this into a percentage, just like money, remember we need 2 digits after the decimal point, thinking of this being pounds, so that is about 6.8 percent. Now you could round this if you want, but the main thing is that it is more than 6%. This is definitely more than 6%. So is she correct? I'm going to say yes. Activity 3, new kitchen. Abdul wants to buy a new kitchen. He borrows £15,000 from a bank for 3 years at 9.4% annual compound interest. Abdul thinks he needs to pay back a total of more than £19,700 at the end of the 3 years. Is he correct? Show how you decide. Now we could work out a 9.4% increase, add it on top of the 15,000, then again a 9.4% increase on the total amount, and then repeat that once more. However, this is a long-winded process, and there is a formula for working out compound interest. So that the way it goes is that you put in the investment first, which is 15,000 in this particular case, and then you multiply it by the rate. So we've got 9.4%, but we can't put 9.4 in there because it means multiplying the investment nearly 10 times, and that is not the case. So we're going to convert it into a decimal. 9%, that would be 0.09, just like saying 9 pence, and you put a pound notation here, you write it as 0.09. And 9.4%, that will be 0.094. Now, because this is an increase on top of the 15,000, it is like working out 109.4. So 109.4%. So practically, you're going to be multiplying by 1.094. If this confuses you a bit, think of it as a number. When you multiply it by 1, it doesn't change. When you multiply it by a number lower than 1, it's going to go smaller. If you multiply by a number that is greater than 1, that means it's going to go bigger. So that is the case with investments. So that's why 1.094, which means adding 9.4% on top of the 100% amount, which is 15,000. And to shortcut this, we've got 3 years, so we're going to go to the power of 3. Again, if you don't have a fancy calculator, you could go 15,000 times 1.094 times 1.094 times 1.094, so 3 times the 1.094, which is equal to 19,640.07876. As this is money, that would be £19,640 and 8 pence. So we're rounding this up because of the 8. So Abdul thinks he needs to pay back a total of more than 19,700 at the end of the 3 years. Is it correct? No, because this is less. So we're going to say no, he will pay less. But just say no is more than enough with the evidence that we've got. Abdul employs Fred to fit his new kitchen. Fred uses this formula to work out what he will charge for this job. So we've got C is equal to 1.2 times 17.5 H plus 40, where C is the charge in pounds and H is the total number of hours worked. Fred tells Abdul he will need 3 days to complete the work. He will work 7.5 hours each day. Work out what Fred will charge for the job. So in order to use the formula, we need to know the number of hours, and we don't know that at the moment. So we know that he will do it in 3 days and he will work 7.5 hours each day. So we're going to do 3 times 7.5, which is 22.5 hours. So now we can plug this into the formula to work out the charge. So 1.2 times 17.5 times the number of hours, which is 22.5 plus 40. We know through BidMath that we need to do brackets first, so I'll keep the rest unchanged. So I'll write 1.2, and within the brackets we've got multiplication and addition, and we need to do multiplication first. Bidmus reminds us of that. So within the brackets we've got addition and multiplication, so multiplication will come first. So 17.5 times 22.5, that is 393.75. Going to add 40 to that. So now rewriting this as 1.2. Within the brackets we've got 393.75 plus the 40, which is equal to 433.75. Now when we've got brackets in here and no operation in the middle, that means multiplication. So we're multiplying that number by 1.2, which is equal to 520.5. And since this is money, we'll use correct money notation, so £520 and 50 pence. Fred has the scale plan of a kitchen worktop. The worktop has one line of symmetry. Fred will put tape along each edge of the worktop. He can cut and join the tape. A roll of tape is 5,000 millimeters long and costs £4.38. Work out the total cost of the tape Fred needs. So as this has one line of symmetry, it's going to look like this. So one side is the same as the other side. So we've got same dimensions both sides, in other words. So this length here will be 26 millimeters, just like this one, and this one here will be 24 millimeters, just like this one. And of course this will be 60 millimeters. So Fred will put tape along each edge of the worktop. So we can add all of these together now. So we've got, let's start from the 90. So 90, add 60, add 26 and then 24. So we cross them out as we go along, and then we've got 30, 24, 26. And finally 60. And that's equal to 340 millimeters. So that's 340 millimeters on the scale drawing. What about in reality? So we're going to use the scale to work that out. Scale says 1 on the scale drawing is equal to 25 in reality. So if this is 340 in total in the scale drawing, what is it in reality? So again, to get from 1 to 340, we've multiplied by 340. So we'll do the same on the other side. So 25 times 340 gives us 8,500. That is millimeters, as that's what we input in the first place. So a roll of tape is 5,000 millimeters long and costs £4.38. How many rolls of tape will Fred need? So 8,500 divided by 5,000, and that is 1.7. So of course you can't buy 1.7 lots of a roll of tape, and one roll isn't enough, so we're going to say 2 rolls, and they cost £4.38 each, which makes £8.76. So that's the total cost. The coordinate grid shows the floor plan of the kitchen. Point A shows the position of the gas valve. Write down the coordinates of point A. So looking at the x coordinate, that is 13, and the y coordinate, that is 2. This prism represents a gas valve. The end faces of the valve are hexagonal. What is the shape of the side faces of the gas valve? So side faces will be the ones like this. So as you can see, that is rectangular. So the shape is a rectangle. Abdul buys a new oven for the kitchen. The normal price of the oven is £629. Abdul gets 18% discount on the price of the oven. Decrease 629 by 18%. So 18%, that is 18 out of 100, of the amount, which is 629. So in the calculator, 18 divided by 100 times 629, we get 113.22. Taking that away from 629 gives us 515.78. So that would be the answer. However, I want to just stop here quickly and share with you another method to work this out, which would have been quicker. So obviously we decreasing this by 18%. So from the 100% amount, we're taking away 18%. So what is left? How many percent are left? So that is 100 take away 18%. That would have been 82% left, right? So what we're doing practically is working out 82% of 629. So 82% as a decimal, that is 0.82 of 629. So using this in the calculator, we get the same answer. So 515.78. So it's just another way, which is really useful to know, and it's going to help you in the exam. And it really links nicely with that compound interest method that we looked at earlier. It's called the multiplier method, by the way. Abdul hires a skip for rubbish. The skip has a capacity of 4 cubic meters. A wheelie bin has a capacity of 250 liters. How many full wheelie bins will be needed to fill one skip? Use 1 cubic meter equals 1000 liters. So we've got the capacity of the skip being 4 cubic meters, and we've got the capacity of the wheelie bin being in liters, 250. So we're going to convert this into liters first, and then work out how many 250s fit into that. So if 1 cubic meter is equal to 1000 liters, what about 4 cubic meters? So we're going to multiply by 4. So 4 times 1000 gives us 4000. So 4000 now, divided by the 250, gives us 16. So 16 full wheelie bins. Activity 4, estate agents. Chris works for an estate agent. He is a sales negotiator. Chris has this data about the number of flats and houses sold by each sales negotiator last year. Work out the probability that a sales negotiator chosen at random sold more flats than houses last year. Give your answer as a percentage. So we're looking at the probability that a sales negotiator chosen at random sold more flats than houses. So we've got flats and then we have houses. So for Adam, that is 2 flats, 3 houses, so that is not more, it's less. For Belle, that is 5, and so that is the case for her. Chris, 3, 4, that's not. Daika, yes. Eva, not, because it's equal. Fiona, yes. Guy, yes, but not for Harry. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 negotiators out of the total, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 4 8s. That is half. So that is 50%. You could do 4 divided by 8 as well, because it'll give you 0.5. Turning that into a percentage still gives you 50%. Chris advertises 12 flats for sale. The table shows the floor area of flats 1 to 11. Chris has this floor plan of flat 12. By what percentage is the floor area of flat 12 greater than the median floor area of flats 1 to 11? Give your answer to 1 decimal place. So we're going to work out the floor area for flat 12 first, and then we're going to compare it to the median of the other flats. So this is in the shape of a trapezium, but we could split it into a rectangle and a triangle. The area of the rectangle can be worked out by multiplying length times width. So that is 22 times 23, which gives us 506 square feet. The area of the triangle, so we've got the base, which is equal to 23 feet. We've got to work out this height here. So the way we can do that is by taking away 22 from the 29. So that gives us 7. So this is 7 feet. So what we're going to do now is, again, multiplying the base by the height and dividing it by 2. So base 23 feet, as we said, height 7. So 23 times 7, I think we'll just do it here. Gives us 80.5 square feet. So altogether that's going to be 80.5, add 506, and that gives us 586.5 square feet in total. So what do we do with this now? Question is, by what percentage is the floor area of flat 12 greater than the median floor area of flats 1 to 11? So we've got to work out the median of the other flats. So median, we put them in order and we find or work out the middle number, or numbers depending on whether it's 1 or 2 of them. So looking at these, which one is the smallest? So that is 496. We've got 496 again. We've got 496 again. We've got 496 again. So 4 times. Then let's move into the 500. So 550. 550, 550. Looking at the 600s, we've got 687 and then again 687, then 840 and 840. So to find the middle value, crossing out both sides. That is 550. So 550, and we've got 586.5. So 586.5, if I take away 550, that leaves me with 36.5. So that is 36.5 out of the median floor area, which was 550. So doing this using a calculator, 36.5 divided by 550 gives us 0.06636 and so on. So 1, 2, so this is 6.636%. We've got to give our answer to one decimal place. So this will be the cutoff point. Looking at the digit next to it on the right, that's a 3, so that means we're going to keep it as 6.6, so rounding down. So 6.6% is the final answer. The range of sale prices of flats in Building A is £25,900. The mean sale price of flats in Building A is £201,850. The table shows the sale prices of 6 similar flats in Building B. Calculate both the range and mean of the sale prices for flats in Building B. Use these values to make 2 comparisons between the sale prices in the 2 buildings. So we'll need to work out both the range and the mean. So the range is taking away the smallest value from the greatest value, and looking at these numbers, the smallest value is this one here, and the greatest value is this one. So 216,000, take away 189,400, gives us 26,600. So that is the range. Now looking at the mean, we're going to have to add the numbers together and divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So adding all of these together, we get 1,209,240. So 1,209,240, dividing that by 6, gives us 201,540. So that's the mean. Now comparing them together, so we've got, let's look at the range. So we've got the range of the sale prices of flats in Building A, that is 25,900, whereas in Building B, that is 26,600. So this is a lower range. So we're going to say that the sale prices of flats in Building A are more consistent. Just looking at the mean now. So we've got 201,850 and 201,540. So on average, these are higher. So we can say on average the sale prices of flats in building A are higher. Well, as you can see, I should have written these two in here, so I'm not going to rewrite them. I'm just going to put these arrows down here. Chris knows that 9 out of every 20 residents in the local area rent their properties. Write 9/20 as a percentage. So, as a percentage, you can do 9 divided by 20 using a calculator. Gives you 0.45, which is the same as 45%. Again, just like how many pennies there would be if this was given in pounds. To work out his commission, Chris does this calculation. 194,500 times 0.03 plus 250, all divided by 1.25. What answer should he get? So you need to do what is within the brackets first. So you're going to multiply 194,500 by 0.03, and that gives you 5,835, and then you can add to that 250, then divide by 1.25. And the final answer is 4,868. Chris knows that this year the average house price in his area is £197,200. Chris knows that this year the average house price in his area is £197,200. He expects this average price to increase by 2.1% next year. Does Chris expect the average house price next year to be greater than 200,000? Show how you decide. So we're going to increase £197,200 by 2.1%. So there are different ways we could do this. Simplest one would be just to go 2.1 out of 100 multiplied by the number, which gives us 4,141.2. That's the increase. If we add that to the 197,200, it gives us 201,341.20. So is that greater than 200,000? Yes, it is, as we have seen. So we can write here yes. Again, if you use the multiplier method, you could have done this in a shorter way. So the amount, the original amount, 197,200, if you just multiplied that by 1.021, that would give you the total amount with the increase included, which is this one here. And this is the end of the paper.